Talking Toffee is proudly in association with EFCFeelingBlue.com and GoodisonGossip.com.
Hello Evertonians and welcome to Talking Toffee. If you're new to this is one of the only places on YouTube for Evertonians to get together and discuss and debate all things Everton. And some news fresh out of the club today is that club captain Phil Neville will be leaving us at the end of the season. Now, this is a debate that has kind of provoked and evoked all kinds of emotions from all different kinds of Evertonians on forums such as Grand Old Team and Twitter. Lots of mixed opinions. A lot of people, talking about Phil Neville's time spent at Everton as in a positive light. Others, saying they're quite happy to see the back of him. Again, the reason why I put these vlogs together is to always get your opinions, to try and get the thoughts and the the reasoning behind what Evertonians think as a representation on YouTube. However, as always, I'd like to give my opinion, and I just want to say on behalf of myself, because this is me thinking and me talking, I just want to say that I'm fairly grateful to Phil Neville, and I won't use the phrase of he's a good servant. I won't use that term, who's been a good servant, because I don't think we should align modern day footballers with that of servants. I think they both lead very different lives. However, he's been a fantastic employee for Everton Football Club. There is no doubt in his professionalism and what he brings to the club. My dad's uncle was a steward, spent a lot of time in and around the club, lived quite close to Goodison, had his ear to the ground quite a bit, and I remember him telling us at the game once when we bumped into him outside the ground, saying what a positive impact he's heard Phil Neville has had on the club, and that echoed throughout his time spent playing at Everton Football Club. So personally for me, I was there, I witnessed that shocking performance against Wigan. Phil, I know he's an avid follower of Talking Toffee and he watches us a lot. He'll probably admit that wasn't his finest hour. He'll probably also concede that staying at Everton, finishing inside the top 10 is a terrific achievement for a club like Everton. He knows that supporters will take that in the wrong way. Whether or not he was misquoted or misinterpreted is what he meant by that is a debate for another time. So he'll admit that he's had his faults and he hasn't had it's not all been rosy at Everton, but I think the stigma that he had coming into the club, the fact he was a Mancunian, that doesn't help, does it, when you come and play for Everton. So he's also had some very fine hours. The FA Cup semi-final against Manchester United, stepped up and took that penalty away. In the FA Cup, he did the same against Chelsea, and actually won us the encounter from that penalty. And also, although he was never very good at spending his time in the limelight and capturing the limelight, he's also a player, I think, that very rarely snuck into the shadows and went missing by his own accord. Obviously, it was quite hard for him at times to win the ball back and keep hold of the football, but he always applied himself in the right manner. And I don't want to disrespect Phil Neville. I know I'm that's maybe a little bit of a cheap shot there, and I'm trying to be a little bit pedantic. But personally, for me, I'm only joking. I think Phil was a very good professional and is a very good professional and has been a very good representative of Everton Football Club. But what are your thoughts and your opinions? Personally, I think that I wish that he'd have maybe made this decision towards the end of last season. There is that argument as well. If he'd have maybe done that if he'd maybe made that decision this time last year, we wouldn't have had to have gone through the heartache and the pain of seeing him really dwindle and become extinct really as an Everton player, and then receive that criticism that he did after the Wigan game. But I like Phil Neville, and I just want to say thank you for the effort that he's put in to the football club. And going forward, who's your ideas for captain? It's probably going to be Phil Jagielka, but I would like to see Leighton Baines as captain personally. I think with him being a local lad, and he's probably got another 5 years left in him, I hope anyway, and just the form that he's in, I'd love to see him as club captain, but it's probably going to be Phil Jagielka. Again, give me your thoughts. In an ideal world, who would you like to see captain the football club from here on in? But once again, thank you, Phil, for your time and effort. Much appreciated, and I best of luck with whatever you're going to do. As I said, I know Phil's a big subscriber to the vlog, and he's always tweeting me saying, why don't you give me a mention, pointing his finger at me, or sending pictures of him pointing his finger at me. He loves to point a finger at me, Phil Neville. Anyway, I'm going off on tangent as per. Now, this is Talking Toffee. Thanks for watching as always. Come on, you Blues.